Uber, you can have an auto, you can have a bus. So वो लड़की very young girl, she says कि कोई अगर कहेगा कि इंडिया डेवलपिंग है तो मैं इंडिया आके उसको मारूंगी. तो it is a misconception that somehow जो हमारे taxes है, I just speak about taxes, that they are more aggressive than what is there in the so-called developed countries. So this is the journey of GST. Insofar as the benefits are concerned, we already talked about कि e-way bill की वजह से अब trade को बहुत facilitation होता है because they save on logistics cost, because there are no entry barriers to sales, and there is for the country also there is an increased compliance. आज के दिन पे we have doubled from the time the GST came into being in 2017. On 18 July 2017, we had like 77.5 lakh taxpayers, active taxpayers. Today the number is 1.53 crores. इसका मतलब ये है कि हम more formalization की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं. जब बहुत लोग जिनको टैक्स पे करना चाहिए वो पे करने लग जाते हैं, तो उसे advantage for the consumer ये होता है कि because we need certain revenues to run the country, it is always possible to reduce the rate of taxes, which is what has happened now. In 4 years, from 2021 to 2025, the gross GST revenues have doubled, showing a CAGR of compounded annual growth rate of more than 18%. This has been possible because we have taken a lot of digitization measures, like having an e-way bill, having an e-invoice system. आज के दिन में about 80 to 90% of the value of transactions in GST are being captured in e-invoice. जब e-invoice में capture हो जाता है, again it leads to more formalization of the economy. तो ये सारे benefits हैं, but I'm not saying it's an ideal situation. There is improvement possible. और ये सब possible तभी होगा जब we receive feedback from the stakeholders. Today one gentleman came to me as I was having breakfast and he said कि why tax income when you are taxing expenditure? So that is another policy decision which I am not empowered to take. But thank you all for listening to me, and thank you to PRSA for this opportunity to explain GST, that it is not the demon in the room that we are all thinking of. Generally GST का यही perception है. It is actually this is more about rationalization of taxes. What has happened is within similar categories, like I said, rotis were being taxed at one rate, parathas were being taxed at another, and the pre-packaged ones. Similarly for bottled water, at let's say 20 liters and above you had one rate, at 1 liter and 500 milliliters you had another rate. So all those have been will give a fillip to the construction. Will give a fillip to the construction sector most probably. And pizza bread, which all of us know, that has come down from 5 to 0. Parathas also have come down. So many of food items, especially because they are items of mass consumption, and indirect taxes are regressive to that extent. You know, you what rich people eat, poor people also eat that much only. So उसमें rationalization काफी है. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mrs. B. Sundar Devi, ma'am, Commissioner of Customs, Nahava Shawla, General Driver, Navi Mumbai. Thank you for sharing your insightful thoughts. आज के इस सेशन में जुड़ने के लिए एक बार जोरदार तालियां आपके लिए होनी चाहिए.
Now to take this session and conversation forward, we would humbly request Major Atul Dev Ji, Founder, Indian Institute of Public Relations and Star Army Officer, Birgaon.
Sir, ये पोडियम आपका है, हम आपको सुनने के लिए उत्सुक हैं.
Over to you, sir.
Mr. Chairperson, sir, my fellow delegates, distinguished audience. At the very outset, I'd like to thank the Public Relations Society of India for inviting me this afternoon to to say a few words on a very important subject. Before I start the real proper subject, I'd like to tell you a story. A couple of years ago, I was teaching at one of the public relations institutes, and a class of about 20 young people were there. I picked up my phone and said, "How many of you know what this is?" They all laughed at me. They laughed at me. Okay, we all know what it is. I said, "All right, laugh." May I now ask you a second question? How many of you know how to really use this? They again laughed. It is then that I explained to them that having something new in your hand, or having some new technology in your hand, or having a new instrument in your hand, doesn't necessarily mean that you're utilizing it to its full capability. That is precisely what is happening to the technology that is now coming our way and its utilization by public relations practitioners, that is, our friends in the audience. Now, basic point is, let's first start off where we are at the moment. We are, or rather we were at the moment, at a stage when we were rooted to press releases, media relations, and face. I know my previous speakers have talked a lot about saying that we must continue to have a direct contact with the media, otherwise it will not work. But today, that contact is of course necessary. I am not trying to contradict them. But what I'd like to mention here is that with the technologies that are now available, we have to learn to utilize them. We have to learn to understand their capabilities and their pitfalls. Please remember, I'm using the word pitfalls. It's important for us to understand that. In today's fast-paced environment, PR has effectively become a science of perception, engagement, and reputation management. Reputations are made and broken instantly. As I get along, I'll explain to you what I mean by the word instantly. Now, from traditional PR, I think we've almost said it. Okay. From traditional PR to a digitally integrated discipline. Because today PR has got to be a discipline which is digitally integrated. It's no longer just the old traditional method of functioning. The PR profession, which was synonymous with just simple media relations and distributing of carefully drafted press releases, meeting journalists, if I may say so, whining and dining them to get space in their newspapers or get time on the broadcast. This has changed now. Today, and I may sound caution here, organizations can directly communicate with their target audience. I'm sure you have all experienced messages coming on your mobile, direct, and very often those messages even address you by name. Dear Atul, would you please do this, that, the other? Where is that PR? The direct messages come from the organization. So we have to not only understand that, I don't use the word that I long at stake, but we have to understand very well gatekeeper of some messages going out from our organization to the audience that they are trying to reach. PR has thus evolved from a simple media outreach to comprehensive reputation management using a variety of digital tools. We go on further. Now the problem that's now come up is that earlier you prepared a press release, you went across to the media, you gave it to them, they scheduled it, and you waited for it to be published. Today that doesn't happen. It's an instant communication that takes place. Your message, when received, goes instantly to the media, and media often carries it because now there is no restriction of space in a newspaper or a magazine, and there is no restriction of time in the broadcast media or television media. This digital format allows any amount of time or space for that matter. Now, the result is, or the effect is, that as PR practitioners, we have to be constantly on the radio. Because things are going fast. Reactions have to be given. Do you think you'll be waiting for 7 days to know what happened in India? You want to know what happened at 1 o'clock, by 3 o'clock. You want to know by 3 o'clock what the MD has done. By 5 o'clock, you want to know how many flights are back on duty, and so on. So you have now got to be, actually I put it this way, that today the PR profession has become 24-hour job. Not only that, you have to also constantly create content. Those days the press conference release, sat over it, released it, and after 3-4 days thought of what is the next. But here at 1 o'clock to make some information, a release goes, and by 2 o'clock another release has to go, by 3 o'clock a third release has to go. So you are not only have to be 24 hours on the job, but you have also got to be constantly creating more and more media. Therefore, it is now become a matter of communication has shifted from a periodic outreach to a continuous, always on situation. So, it is media not much more but certainly put you on the job a lot more. Let me go on to the social media. Now, what is? You all know social media, so I'm not going to waste my time defining what it is. Social media of all types is there, whether it is WhatsApp or all the rest of it. But what we have to understand, I have partially mentioned it, that social media allows direct engagement from the client to the target audience. It can be also very personal. I mentioned that. It can utilize a large number of influencers to say the same thing. But they read the same message and they forward it. You know, you all keep forwarding messages. What is it that you're doing? You are acting as an influencer. Don't you have messages saying, please forward it to all your groups, please forward it to all your friends. So you are acting as an influencer for passing on that message to the groups more and more and more. And the thing that is important to note here is, all this results in, thank you. I just get excited, that's all this results in not only your message going out, but a generation of responses, comments. Have you not seen it yourself? Every message that goes out, like, comment. And therefore, the content of that message now gets increased by virtue of the additional response from the recipient also. And that message can be now seen by other people. So you have to then again perhaps modify your message so that it is not misunderstood, or is modified or corrected. Otherwise people will go by the misunderstood message which is coming in the comments. Doesn't it happen? Tell me practically. You want to notice it? And I'm sure you've all experienced it. So in today's environment, social media is indispensable for brand building and image management, but it has to be utilized properly. You have to be careful about how you react to it, how you utilize it, and how you react to it. Let's go on to see a few other things. As far as PR strategy is concerned, you have to now be a little more analytical. Reason why I say you have to be more analytical, thank you, I'm quite okay. You have to be more analytical. Why do you have to be more analytical? Because your audience can be accurately profiled. Your campaign can be measured accurately. You know, we always had that problem to know was our PR campaign successful? How many people did it reach out to? What was the reaction? And you should guess, make estimates. So today, that can be done accurately by electronic media responses coming to you instantly. Not only that, the same media, I'm talking of the new media, is capable of predicting what is likely to happen. So you get a response ready for you to think ahead, even before your first message has been started. I mean, as soon as the reach is started. So that you have to be prepared. Now what? If the reaction is this, what should I do? If the reaction is that, what should I do? What should I say? What should I not say? I don't think I can give you a better example of what happened during the recent Indigo crisis. You saw the contradictions that were happening. They were not handled by the print media because they were only given the news 24 hours later. But your mobile media was getting messages minute to minute of what was happening here and what was the reaction going on. Now this enables the data enables PR professionals to fine-tune messages and reach exactly the audience they want to target. And that is a very important point PR professionals must make. I now go on to, I'm running through my subject, I don't want to go beyond my time. I now want to go on to what everyone is talking about, artificial intelligence. Do you remember that when computers first came in, there was a famous phrase that you remember me. Garbage in, garbage out. ठीक है, याद है सबको? Okay. For artificial intelligence, a similar thing here. It gives you a response based on how precise is your question. Just work it out. If your question language is not exactly what you should have written, you'll get an answer which is different from what you expect. But if you make your question very specific, you will get an answer accurately, exactly the way you want it. So in the same old story, garbage in, garbage out. Question accurate, results will be accurate. Now, therefore, the point to note here is that all these things like chat boxes and so on and so forth, chat GPT and so on, they all give you a response based precisely on your question. So your question has to be very, very accurate. And that is what we need to do. The AI now serves as an indispensable extension, no doubt, but the utilization is important. We now go on to another point which is known to many, I'm going to repeat it for the sake of repeating it. And that is today, the digital age allows you multimedia storytelling. This is an obvious thing, I don't have to repeat it to you. There were days when you sent a press release, you sent some photographs. Okay, there was a stage where the black and white photographs become color photographs. Okay, the stage went further, we sent a video clip. But today, you can have total multimedia presentation of your point of view, your brand that you wish to build, the image that you wish to put together, and also, the videos, things like podcasts, all these things are, I will not go through the entire list, regulations and the 3 pillars of communication. All are communicating. Earlier we very clearly said, even in the previous session, it was very defined difference between advertising and PR. I talk about myself, advertising, someone talks about me, is PR. But with the new media available to us, nobody knows whether it is coming from yourself or coming from someone else. So the fact remains, there is a blurring between the 3 distinct communications that we know of: media, communications, and journalism, advertising, and PR. This, which I would like to note, is visual and interactive formats resonate strongly with mobile-first audiences and enhance brand impact. That, to explain this point that I have written here, is that it's virtually become a race. Who presents the facts first? Who presents them faster? Who presents them better? So this media provides you much faster, quicker communication. And go back to the point about your being on duty 24 hours. It's not a simple thing. We go on to crisis management. We've always seen that one of the major jobs of a PR manager or officer is how to sort out the crisis of his company. And everyone kept stressing that one of the major subjects of understanding in public relations study is crisis management. Is that correct, sir? Am I right in saying so? Now, crisis management is simple. You have to refute the thing, or as someone has very rightly said, as long as you are honest, as long as you are on time, as long as the messages are timely, crisis management can be handled. Crises are there in every organization, every company. Everybody has a crisis at some time or the other. It is up to you how quickly you can handle it, how quickly your messages go out, how crisply you respond to queries and people's doubts, and so on. So crisis management can be equally no, not right, fake message. We often have messages coming to us saying fake message, ignore it. This is all part of this business of how people want to get over a crisis and quickly revert their company back to their normal standing. Now therefore, what I will put it this way, technology enables immediate, transparent and controlled responses to clear people's doubts. The next point I want to talk about is the globalization of PR. Because the message can go around the world instantly, you got translation facilities all the time. You can reach out to audiences far beyond what was done in the past. These are absolute, the media now allows you to get to anywhere in the world in seconds. We took pictures this afternoon of our meeting here in this hall. And my son in Canada sent back a message, Dad, when are you speaking? You can see how quickly things happen up and down. So it's a media law globalization, not just confined to your local newspaper or local community. So I tend to say that technology enables immediate, transparent and controlled responses around the world. The technology supports this through translation tools, global monitoring systems and centralized communication. I just want to explain the meaning of centralized communication. You see, once the plan is made and your message is ready, then it becomes important for everyone to follow that message. And that is easy to pass on your message to everyone to see. Rather than letting them interpret, rather than letting other people redo that message, rather than letting people start reworking that message. So there is need for a centralized message which needs to be worked on, and that will be the job of the public relations practitioner. That takes me to some ethical questions about PR. You know, today we have lots of fake messages. We have manipulated media. Privacy concerns are important. You must have heard how in Delhi High Court, a series of film stars have asked for their name not to be used in page. 30 seconds, okay. You got to be very ethical about what you are doing. And therefore, it's important for us to maintain credibility. It requires strict ethical standards and a responsible communication. I'll end here by reminding you on something. All this has resulted in the modern PR professional is no longer just a PR man. He has become a strategist, a digital communicator, a content creator, a data analyst, a crisis manager, and a community engagement specialist. See, your role is increased. Not only have I scared you or sent you to work 24 hours, I have also told you what else you have to do to carry on with your current professional life. This multi-dimensional role reflects the complexity of modern communication. And finally, I conclude by saying, as technology continues to advance, the future of PR will be shaped As technology continues to advance, the future of PR will be shaped by new innovations. But its core mission will remain unchanged: to build trust and foster constructive relationships between organizations and their stakeholders. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, sir. Your knowledge and perspective had shown, sir.
आप सभी को बहुत बहुत नमस्कार। और कोई सेशन चेयरमैन की हैसियत से मैं यहाँ नहीं आया हूँ, क्योंकि जिन दो विद्वान वक्ताओं को हमने सुना, इनके बारे में बताऊँ, हमें से कई लोगों की जिसमें उम्र है उससे ज़्यादा वर्ष मेजर अब्दुल साहब को रिटायर होकर हो गया है। सिर्फ 45 साल पहले आप रिटायर हुए और सिर्फ ये 85 साल 86 साल के युवा हैं। और जैसा मेजर MAJOR, मेजर को हिंदी में कहते हैं बड़ा, अतुलनीय, देवभूमि में देव साहब को हमने सुना, अतुलनीय मेजर अतुल देव साहब को। उनके लिए मैं यही कहता हूँ कि खुशी बांट के जीवन जीना इनसे बहुत बड़ा है जानी। खुशी बांटते जीवन जीना, इनसे कौन बड़ा है दानी, परिचय केवल इतना सा है, उम्र से आनी पीर पुरानी। हम जोरदार तालियों पे और मेरी दाई तरफ बैठी थी मिसेज बी सुविधा देवी। अभी जीएसटी पे उन्होंने बहुत सारी बातें कही। मैंने उनको पूछा कि आपका नाम बी फॉर, तो उन्होंने बहुत लंबा बताया, मैं भूल गया। सुविधा, उन्होंने तुरंत गूगल में मुझे दिखाया ये एक नदी का नाम है सुविधा। जैसे यहाँ गंगा पवित्र है वैसे रूस में सुविधा पवित्र है। सुविधा देवी के लिए हम तालियां बजाएं। और मैं कह रहा हूँ मेरी दाहिनी तरफ सुविधा देवी बैठी थी, सामने एक सुविधा देवी सिंह बैठी हैं। हम आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हैं मैडम, फॉर्मर सेक्रेटरी जनरल ऑफ पब्लिक रिलेशन सोसाइटी ऑफ इंडिया। मैम आ रही हैं, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हैं। और उनके बाजू में बैठे हैं दीपक तनेजा साहब इस हॉल में। उनके बैठने से ही रोशनी बहुत बढ़ गई है। दीपक तनेजा साहब एक नेशनल क्विज मास्टर। मुझे 2-3 बातें इस बार अवसर पर कहनी है, बहुत ज़्यादा समय नहीं है। कि देवभूमि देहरादून में हो रहा है कॉन्फ्रेंस, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस पब्लिक रिलेशन सोसाइटी ऑफ इंडिया का। कल भी मुख्यमंत्री महोदय आए थे, आज विधानसभा के अध्यक्ष आई थी, भूतपूर्व मुख्यमंत्री और केंद्रीय शिक्षा मंत्री आए थे। अभी फिर अगले सेशन में हम चर्चा करेंगे। मुझे लगता है कि हम देहरादून के लोगों को, देहरादून के साथियों का हम धन्यवाद करें। जिस तरह से आपने तैयारी की है और जिस तरह से आपने आयोजन को ऊंचाई दी है, मुझे लगता है कि अगला नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस करने वाले चैप्टर भुवनेश्वर को बहुत तकलीफ होने वाली है। इसीलिए मैं देहरादून वालों आपसे कहता हूँ कि जीवन भाई थोड़ा कि जमीन के हर जर्रे को आफ्ताब कर देंगे। देहरादून चैप्टर जमीन के हर जर्रे को आफ्ताब कर देंगे, गुलशन के हर फूल को गुलाब कर देंगे। हर रोज करोगे तो याद हमारी, तुम्हारी आदत हम कितने खराब कर देंगे। मुझे लगता है कि तालियां कमजोर थी। देहरादून ने जिस तरह से तैयारी की है और जिस तरह से आयोजन किया है, और हम अपने दोनों वक्ताओं को बहुत धन्यवाद देते हैं। आपने बहुत ही हमारा अच्छा मार्गदर्शन किया। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जो हमारे नए या प्रोफेशनल्स बनने वाले स्टूडेंट्स चले गए, उनका भी बहुत धन्यवाद, जिन्होंने बहुत पसंद इस सेशन में सुना और हमारा सहयोग किया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत, जय बिहार।
So thanks a lot panelists। एक बार पहले हमारे panelists के लिए जोरदार तालियां होनी चाहिए। उन्होंने अपने बहुत बड़ी विचार साझा की। और पहले ना तो आई मिस्टर जोसेफ रत्न कुमार सर को, जो विशाखापट्टनम चैप्टर से हैं, आई वुड लाइक टू कॉल हिम ऑन स्टेज टू फेलिसिटेट श्री एसपी सिंह सर। हम इनका मंच पर सम्मान के लिए तो मेजर सो जस्ट वेट फॉर अ सेकंड। मिस सुमिता सिंह जी, एक्स सेक्रेटरी जनरल बीआरएसआई दिल्ली चैप्टर से, आपको इनवाइट करना चाहेंगे मेजर अतुल देव सर का मंच पर सम्मान और स्वागत के लिए। ये हमारे पैनलिस्ट मेजर अतुल देव सर, जिन्होंने बहुत ही इंफॉर्मेटिव बातें हमारे साथ में शेयर की हैं। मिस सुमिता सिंह, एक्स सेक्रेटरी जनरल बीआरएसआई दिल्ली चैप्टर, उनके फेलिसिटेशन के लिए जी नोएडा में जगह पेश करें।
भाई भाई भाई
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we will humbly request Ms. Anuradha K.H. Rao, Visakhapatnam chapter, to please come upon and felicitate Major Atul Dev ji.
Ms. Anuradha K.H. Rao from Visakhapatnam chapter. मोमेंटो पेश करेंगे मेजर अतुल देव सर को।
All of us.
Absolutely. Now I would like to call Mr. Joseph Kumar sir, please come on stage from Visakhapatnam chapter. एक प्यार भरा स्पीच मोमेंटो हम दे रहे हैं श्री एसपी सिंह सर को, ताकि ये पैनलिस्ट के लिए भी उनकी स्मृति में बात अंकित रहे कि आज के कार्यक्रम का वो हिस्सा बने, उनकी स्मृतियों में आज की ये शाम हमेशा के लिए छप रहे। देखिए तालियों में कोई कंजूसी नहीं चाहेंगे, समझाएंगे तो इससे करेगा आप सभी से।
नई सकारात्मक सोच के साथ हम सभी आगे बढ़ेंगे।
बिल्कुल, आप सभी पैनलिस्ट का बहुत हार्दिक धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे, आपने समय दिया। और फिलहाल इस सेशन को हम यहीं विराम देंगे। और वैसे तो ये एक टी ब्रेक है, लेकिन हम सभी यहीं बैठे रहेंगे, हम यहीं पर इस टी ब्रेक को एंजॉय करेंगे। बेहद जल्द जो है हम अपने नेक्स्ट सेशन की तरफ बढ़ेंगे। बेहद जल्द जो है हम अपने नेक्स्ट सेशन की तरफ बढ़ेंगे। तो आप सभी को यहीं बैठे रहना है। हमारे नेक्स्ट पैनलिस्ट बस कुछ ही मिनटों में हमारे साथ जुड़ने वाले हैं और नेक्स्ट सेशन तो हमारा रहने वाला है। इसका टॉपिक आपको अभी से मैं बता दूं, इंडो रशियन पब्लिक रिलेशंस एंड मीडिया फोरम। इनके पैनलिस्ट जो होंगे इनके नाम जल्दी आपको बताए जाएंगे। फिलहाल आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है, आप सभी प्लीज यहीं हमारे साथ जुड़े रहें।